I know that many of you may not be regular track and field viewers, and I know that many of you have got Peacock and you thought you'd watch this one for this man here today. Welcome back, folks. Lee Diffie, Bolden with you, and Lewis Johnson to watch DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks run against professional track athletes for the first time.
And let's put the kind of speed he has in perspective. At the NFL Combine, he ran 4.33. That's in the top 15 or 20 all time at the Combine. So it's not like he's just, a fast wide receiver for today's NFL. He is one of the fastest men in the league, yes, but he's one of the fastest men in the league of all time.
What is this race going to hold for DK Metcalf? So many people have wondered. He gets applause for turning up, for saying, I'm going to do this, and for seeing through. But he's going to come up against people like two-time U.S. champion Mike Rogers.
One of the best starters in the world, and I think he's working on trying to make what would be his 10th U.S. team. He's made 9 U.S. teams in his career. He's 36 now. So, yes, he knows there's a lot of hype in this race because of the presence of an NFL star, but he's trying to improve his own personal best of 10:13 this year.
So who else are they up against? Let's take a look at the full field here. Cravon Gillespie a little further out in lane 7. CJ Ujar is in there as well, right alongside Mike Rogers in the middle of this full 9-lane field. And you'll see DK Metcalf from the inside lane 2.
If I'm DK's coach, I tell him, listen, stick to your script. Because what I'm worried about for DK is that they get away from him early and he kind of goes, okay, I'm tossing the playbook. I'm tossing the playbook and just going to what works.
When he prevented that pick 6 last October against the Cardinals' Buda Baker, Coach Pete Carroll said that was one of the greatest plays, greatest rundowns he's ever seen. So what are we about to see here?
Look at the difference in size. I told you I think he's closer to 235 than 225. It was a phenomenal play, and I think some of that got lost in everybody going over the top about, 22 miles an hour. Usain Bolt and his like run 27, 28 miles an hour. So 22 miles an hour is phenomenal on a football field. Let's see how he goes here.
Needs to be in the top 3 to go through to this afternoon's main event or have one of the next 3 best times.
He can't panic if they get away from him early.
Mike Rogers, center of your screen in lane 5, will be the one to watch. DK Metcalf, second from the far right. Second heat of the Nike Men's 100. Metcalf's hanging with them at the moment. It's fairly even. DK's doing a good job. On the inside, though, CJ Ujar and Mike Rogers, that was close. 10-12, the winning time.
He did not embarrass himself.
Not at all.
He hung with the pack. Yes, I think he's 8th, but he ran well. I didn't think he was going to run anywhere near that well. Let's see what the time is.
So Cravon Gillespie gets the win from Mike Rogers and CJ Ujar. In a 10:18 is the official time. Pardon me.
We get Robinson, Oyster at 10:18, Megan at 10:19, Robinson at 10.
So let's have another look at it.
10:24.
DK's out here. And then, of course, you have Cravon Gillespie in 7. They did not get away from the big guy early. He stuck to his script. Not a bad dry phase, but now the weight, Lee, becomes an issue, so he couldn't hang on at the end. Here's an ISO look at the start of DK. You can't tell that he doesn't belong in this field. That was a phenomenal start, good reaction. And as I said, I'm impressed with his dry phase. He stayed low and took his time coming up. This should encourage every fast NFL guy. Tyreek Hill, are you listening? This should encourage every fast NFL guy. You're not that far off. Some more training, maybe you get in the conversation for the Olympic trials for the United States. Great run by DK, but the race won by
Cravon
Gillespie in 10:11.
10:11, and then Mike Rogers and CJ Ujar were 10:12. That was tight right at the very end. Look at that. Well, the time says all 10:11s, but it doesn't matter. They're all going through.
DK 10:36. I thought he'd run 10:5 if he had a good race. He surpassed
mine and I think a lot of people's expectations.
How about that, Lewis Johnson?
How about that? You guys are both examining the replays. First to the winner, Cravon. Just your thoughts on the way you battled down the home straightaway there and came across, even though you got a bloody finger for the win early.
It was pretty good. I'm really trying to, work on my start and continue to build on the meets that I do have, going into trials. So I just tried to finish strong in this race, finish the line.
What were your initial thoughts about DK being in this race today?
I was actually very excited. I watch him on TV all the time, and so it was really good. I ain't like what he did, to my Giants, but besides that, it was definitely good to have him and have all the NFL fans, tune in. So that was good.
How about the Buda Baker rundown? Wasn't that something?
Oh man, that was crazy. When he went in the dry phase, I knew he was going to go get him.
You knew he was there.
Yeah.
DK, you ran 10:36. That's your time that you came in here today. Your thoughts on just how you performed?
Man, just happy to be here. Excited to have the opportunity. Just thank God for, the opportunity to just come out here and run against world-class athletes like this.
Right. I referenced the Buda Baker rundown, which was just a huge NFL moment, a huge sporting moment, and that's where all the generated talk came from that got you here. What made you make the decision to drop your shoes on the track in that little video you tweeted and ultimately come out here and run against these guys today?
Just working out. I mean, just to test my speed up against, world-class athletes like this. Like I said, man, just had the opportunity to come out here and run against these guys was just a blessing.
Yeah, you weren't afraid of the risk of what might happen in terms of just your profile and just your speed on the field, which we all love to see. Why were you not afraid to risk it?
Because I'm a football player and an athlete first. Right. I'm a man of God, so, I just do things because I want to do it.
Help us understand the difference between the speed that we see you do on the field as a wide receiver, and of course, in that chase down, versus the type of speed you need on the track. Is there a difference in your mind? Did you learn something today?
Oh, yes, sir. These are world-class athletes. They do this for a living. And it's very different from football speed, from what I just, realized. So, like I said, man, just excited to be out here.
Finally, real quick, with that time, Otto Bolden really impressed with what you did, 10:36. Does this tell you that you should come back, you should train, maybe try to lose some of that weight in the track season and make a team in the future? You think about it?
No, I got mini camp to go to. So, man, like I said, just excited, man.
Yeah, Pete Carroll didn't want me to hear me talking to you
right.
like that. Exactly. Great job out here. We're glad to see you here in track and field. Cravon, good job. We'll see you in the finals, all right? Thanks again, both of you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Hey, very good.
Yep.
Well, I think we just saw something pretty special. We listened to something pretty special. There are sports-specific athletes, and then there are all-encompassing athletes. We put DK in that second one because whether you listen to comments from his high school coaches, college coaches, someone like Pete Carroll all the way down, they talk about what a phenomenal athlete he is. We just saw it.
Yeah, and he had to compete. Looking back at those replays, they got away from him a little bit in the beginning, but if you look at the last half, when it really started to get hard for him because of his size, he fought for it. And yes, he was the last across the line, but he's running against world-class sprinters. I could not be more impressed, and I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. DK Metcalf, it's a win-win today. Win-win.
So we spoke earlier. We're going to show you one final replay as we go to a quick break here, but very quickly, Addo, we spoke about everybody being Monday quarterbacks, guessing what time. For somebody like you to say he surpassed your expectations at a 10:36.
Yeah, and
incredible.
It's not particularly warm out here, and as I said, big body to get ready. So he did a phenomenal job. 10:36 for a guy that size. How'd you like to be Russell Wilson throwing to that in the fall?
There you go. We've seen it, and we say well done, not only to Cravon Gillespie for winning, but for DK Metcalf for a huge effort and a lot of training to go into this.